Hey guys, it's JM. I wanted to do an introduction video to how to farm Chia in Ubuntu Server. This is going to be for people that are new to Ubuntu, are new to Linux, are not generally familiar with a headless node, tend to like the GUI, tend to farm in Windows, and may have been looking at Ubuntu but kind of been too scared. I'm going to show how easy it is to get up and running with Chia farming. I really like Ubuntu Server just because it's easy. All the Chia stuff just works. And once you get a headless node, you can just manage it on your desktop through SSH. You can stick the desktop or whatever your farmer is in a corner somewhere in your house and not have to worry about it. So you're going to pull up a Windows terminal app in Windows 11. It gives you this nice little thing where you can pop open a bunch of tabs here. The default is PowerShell, which works just fine. So you'll find the IP address of your farmer after Ubuntu desktop install. During the install process, if you have DHCP enabled, it'll tell you the IP, or you can check out your router to find out whatever the IP address is and whatever username you set up during the install. And to SSH in, type in your password, and here we go. And so when you log in, it shows you some stuff. We can do a clear. I've named this farm RGB1, which if you saw, I'll post a picture of it later. It's just a crappy little cheap consumer desktop case that I grabbed for 50 bucks on Amazon. That had a bunch of RGB on it. So first, we're going to check our drives are showing up. So this is kind of one of the first things, right? If you're Chia farming, the most important thing is that your drives are all showing up so you can actually farm. I have 3 12 terabyte drives in here for hard drives. SDA, SDB, SDC. I can see they're 10.9 TIB, 12 terabytes, 10.9 TIB. Okay, so all 3 drives are showing up. So the first thing we're going to want to do is mount the drives. So there's a few ways to do this. The easiest way, if you want to do it without a restart, is just to you go sudo, you're going to make directory /mount /htd1, put in your password, 2 and 3. After you ls test mount, you'll see the 3 hard drives. And so you could just go, we're going to mount /dev/sca to mount htd1. You could mount /dev/sdb to htd2, stc to htd3. So this is kind of the easy way to mount, but that's not going to be persistent. So if we go to, my favorite tool is Duff, and it doesn't come installed with Ubuntu by default, so you have to go install it just like that. Now if you do Duff, it'll show us, hey, we have 3 hard drives mounted and they all have 99.5% full. Mounting the drives every time you start the system is going to be a pain. So you're going to want to edit the fstab or file system tab to mount the drives automatically. So first thing we're going to do is take a look at the fstab. So it's in /etc/fstab, and cat is going to show us the current output of the fstab. So what we want to do is, if you go ls block again, we can add in name, file system type, UUID, and mount points. And then we can take that and find out what we're going to need for the creation of this fstab. So we're going to copy this for now, SDA, ext4, and the UUIDs. UUID makes it so it'll mount by default, by the file system identifier, not by the device handle, which is really what we want. And so you basically want to you can do this, I'm sure there's a million different scripts to do this, or you can just do it by hand. I recommend doing it by hand for a little bit, just to make sure you're doing it correctly. So you can see here I have /dev/disk by UUID, and then I've pasted the UUID. I want that to mount to HDD1, it's ext4, and then since I already have the drive full of plots, I'm going to mount it read-only. If you're filling up the drives with plot files, you're going to have to mount this with read-write. Read-only is great for plots that are drives that are full of plots, because farming is read-only. You don't ever need to actually write the data, and this makes sure that nothing can corrupt your drives and nothing can write any data to your drives. And so now we have to just copy that and paste it 2 more times, and then put in the UUIDs of the other drives. And we'll paste that in here. And don't forget to edit this. We want to mount them not to the same mount point, HDD1, 2, and 3. And so now we will copy this, and we will go into our SSH and say we have to sudo nano /fstab, because we're going to need to be sudo as to edit the fstab. And all we're going to do is paste in by right-clicking the mouse and our 3 hard drives. And then, I should do that fast. If you want to save, you hit Control-O, and it's going to ask you what file name to save in, and then Control-X will exit out in Windows. Okay, so now if we do a def, we will see that no drives are mounted. If we do a sudo mount -a, you will see, okay, it did give us a little warning. Hadn't seen that before. This is a new version of Ubuntu. And here we are. So the drives are mounted. If we do an ls/mount/htd star, you'll see all our plots. And we can count the plots. If we wanted to do wc-l would be counting the plots. We have 335 plots. That's on all our drives. Okay, so now the drives will be automatically mounted every time we start the system or reboot, which is great. That's exactly what we want. And now it's on to installing Chia. If you were coming from Windows, you're probably used to downloading Chia from here and just downloading the binary and installing it like that. If you're on Ubuntu desktop, you can do the exact same thing and just basically download the Debian version and install the package. On Ubuntu Server, the installation is a little bit different. So if you go to here and click on installation instructions, it'll pop open this window that I have here. And if you click on Ubuntu, it'll tell you to do these couple steps, okay? And so it's very important that you follow these exactly, or else it's not going to work. And so you can just basically copy here, and then go back to your window, your terminal, sudo apt get update, and then we're going to update the certificates. Okay, so now the next part is you just copy here, same thing, paste it in, enter, clear it so we can see it up here on the top. Now we're going to do this next one. And so these are just going to make sure we're actually getting the repo from Chia and trusting it. Now this is the last step. So you want an apt get update. So we'll do that one first. This is kind of confusing. And so now it's going to tell us that we're going to have the Chia package. Since we're on the since we're on CLI only, we're on Ubuntu Server, we just need this CLI. We don't want Chia blockchain with all the stuff in the GUI. That's not needed. It's just going to be extra packages that slow us down. So we're going to go CLI, and so we're going to go back here to, and here we go. So we're installing Chia. Now that's it. Now if you type in Chia, you'll see that Chia is installed. So it's as easy as that. So now that Chia is installed, we're going to set up our node. So if you do Chia init, it's going to create a /home/jam.chia/mainnet folder. And so we can see here, ls, we can see we have a config and a db file. And so the first thing we're going to do is basically, if we go Chia start farmer, it's going to start looking for the chain. So Chia start farmer will basically start the farmer, the full node, the wallet, and the harvester, everything you need to start farming. So that's it for now. And if you wanted to just step back and let that sync, that would work. I'm going to show you how to import a DB from another system, which will help you kind of get up and running much faster. If you're coming from Windows, if you go into users, jm.chia, mainnet, db, you'll find this fully synced blockchain here because I was farming on Windows. So you can copy that over, and so you would create basically a new window, and you could do SCP, and then this, you click on here, copy the path here, and you would copy this you can tab out blockchain, and you would copy this to jm at 192.168.0.74/home. You have to give it a place. And so if you do like that, you'll copy the file over. You can do that without having to do any USB sticks or any funny business. So I've already done that here, and I have the blockchain. I have a fully synced copy of the blockchain. You can see 94 GIB. So what we're going to do is copy that into the folder so we can basically skip the syncing process. So first thing we're going to do is Chia stop all -d. This stops all the Chia services and the daemon and everything. And so that's going to be really important because we want to stop everything before we copy the new blockchain into into the system. So we're going to basically now make sure our folder is there. So we're going to ls.chia/mainnet.db, and you can see the one that started syncing is in there, and it's just 44 megabytes because it just started syncing. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the blockchain folder file that we have into that folder. And now if we do that, you're going to see this 94 gigabyte file is in this folder, in the chia.chia mainnet. Now if you do an ls/home/jm/.chia, you'll see the same thing. So this little squiggly in the home in JM is the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to start farming again. Chia start farmer, and it's going to start the full node and the harvester and the wallet and everything else. So that actually took about 1 minute, which I guess is not surprising. I had to read the new blockchain file. But now if we do a chia show-s, it's going to show that we're syncing. We're almost all the way to the tip. So you can see here, it'll say status syncing. And if we do a chia peers peer full node-c, you'll see we're actually finding some peers. Remember, Chia is fully peer-to-peer blockchain. So the introducer just basically finds us other full nodes to reach out to, and then we find out what their height of the blockchain is, and then we can figure out, basically what the peak of the blockchain is. Okay, so now that we have our full node syncing, we can add the drives. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'll show you my actual favorite way to do it, which is much easier than it used to be. So if we go to chia plots add-d/mount/atd1, we could do it like that. And if we do a chia plots show, it'll show us where our plot directories are. And if we could do a chia plots check, I think n0, it'll just n1, and we'll actually do a challenge. Morning, plots have public keys, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is actually smart because if I do a chia keys show, it's going to show us that there's no keys in here. So we're going to have to go add my key. So if I wanted to go add my mnemonic that has these pool contract address and farmer key attached to it, I'm going to have to go do a chia keys add -d. Chia keys add, and now enter the mnemonic. So I'm obviously going to turn the video off for a sec while I do this so you guys don't see my mnemonic. Never ever show your 24 words to anybody under any circumstance. Okay, so now we've added our keys, chia keys show. You'll see my keys are in there, and if we do a chia plots check with that, now you'll see that we're not getting errors. The keys that we have in here match the keys that we have for the plots. So that's great. You can just do a Control-C. We just wanted to make sure this is working. Okay, so normally if we do a chia plots show, it'll show the directories where my plots are added. I could add HTTP2 and 3 and whatever. This is great if you have like 4 or 5 drives. This is totally the way to do it. If you have a lot more drives, I'll show you the easier way to do it. So if we go into nano.chia/mainnet, we're going to do config and config.yaml. This is where you edit all the stuff for all the configuration of Chia. And so you can see there's a data layer section, an SSL section. If you're setting up a remote harvester, you'll need to edit the harvester section. So we had a farmer section. So we're going to scroll page down all the way. So the full node section. We're going to scroll down all the way here to the harvester section. So here's the harvester section. And you'll see the plot directories we have are /mount/htd1. So you could literally just enter them all in here, but we're going to do kind of a little hack trick. We're going to just do /mount, and then we're going to change recursive plot scan to true. And it's going to now scan everything in /mount. And so now if we do a chia plots show, it'll show us /mount. And if we do a chia plots check and 1, you can see it's going to basically load in all the plots. And you'll see an easy way to show us how many plots. So now that we've added our drives, we want to see if we're farming. So an easy way to do this is Chia farm summary, and it will show us for local harvesters and for all the remote harvesters, it will show us how many plots we have, total plot count, and now we're going to find out. So the harvester is finding all the plots. That's really important. So now we have to find out if we're farming. So we can do a Chia plot NFT show, and it's going to basically show us if we are actually responding with partials to our pool. Because we want to, I forget what pool I have actually on this, so we'll find out here shortly. But a Chia plot NFT show, we'll find out. Okay, so something's happening right here. So it kind of froze up, and I'll tell you what's happening exactly in the background. So to know how to farm, your plot NFT has to sync the wallet first. And so I never synced the wallet. And so if I do a Chia wallet show, it's going to say syncing. So once that wallet sync is done, then we'll be able to go into Chia plot NFT show, because the transaction that I made on the blockchain to set my pool is actually included on the blockchain. So the wallet has to go sync, find my plot NFT, and find out which pool I'm actually pooling to before it can know where to send the partials to, because it doesn't know where to farm to yet. It's not doing that yet. So now the good news is this syncing actually is very fast now. So this should just take a few minutes to sync up. So good news, the wallet sync only took about a minute. And if I do a Chia wallet show, you can see got my 0.6 XCH in here. Yay. Okay, so what we're going to do is a Chia plot NFT show, and it should show us we're synced, we're farming to a pool, I'm farming to space pool, and percent successful points. Current difficulty 3, points found 1. Okay, so yeah, it's going to just, usually this is 100%. You'll see after we get some more partials sent out, we'll get this number up. So one of the things now, so I can tell I'm farming here. If I do Chia farm summary, it says we're farming, we're synced. I have 32 TIB, and here's the net space and all this good stuff. But if we want to go a little bit in depth, we can do a Chia configure, and it will say one of the ways we can configure are, let's see, set log level. And we are going to set log level to info instead of just warning. And now we can do a Chia stop all -d. So we're gonna have to restart the services to take effect here. And Chia start farmer. And so after we have these, now if we do an ls of, again, we can do a -chia mainnet logs debug.log, cat of that. Now we can see some info stuff. And something that we're going to see here is we're going to grep for eligible. And now we can see basically if you should see that this number, 1 plots were eligible for farming, total 332 plots. This means for every signage point, so every 9.3 seconds or so, every single plot you have is a 1 in 512 chance of passing the filter. And if that plot passes the filter for the signage point, they'll show up here. So basically, if this is showing up, then 3 plots pass that filter, then you're farming. That's it. So now, again, if I check back in so if I want to check the status and health of this farm, the first thing, Chia show -s, is my full node synced? Yes, full node synced. Do I have peers? Chia peer full node -c. I have a few peers, which is good. Usually you want a lot, just so you make sure you're not stuck on somebody's old blockchain. So we just restarted the services, so it'll take a second for us to find new peers. And then Chia farm summary, and that will show us, how much local harvester that we actually are farming, 32 TIB here. And then Chia wallet show, we want to show that our wallet is synced and happy. And then Chia plot NFT show will show us how many points we have over the last 24 hours. So If your farm is working correctly, this should always be 100%. If this is not 100%, then you may have something messed up with your farm. So yeah, and again, this has to run for a while, but you can see that points balance 18. We've sent a couple partials. So that's it. Now we're fully farming in Linux, and it's like you can see here we're fully farming, and it's like basically no CPU, no load on the system at all, which is kind of what we're aiming for. I'm going to do a future video of this system, looking at the power consumption and overall system configuration. But that was just a quick video on how to get you guys up and running on Ubuntu Server if you've never used it before. So thanks. Bye-bye.